Welcome. Wednesday. It's been a good Wednesday. We had Pizza Wetzel channeling. This was the first person who has channeled on air. We've had channelers up. We had someone who channels Jesus. We had someone who channels angels. Um, and great talks with both of them. This was another great talk, and it was interesting to actually hear someone channel. And they spoke in a light language, which was pretty awesome to hear. Just really good information. Can't wait to make shorter videos of the whole thing, bite-ish size. Hey, ladies, guy, bite-ish size, not bite size. Bite size would be shorts, and I'm still doing shorts. I'm doing less shorts. I'm just not getting the views. The long form content is increasing. It's not great in many, many, many ways. I'm starting over, starting my channel from scratch. But I'm very fortunate because I have friends here, you, you guys, hanging out with me. It's much appreciated. So, hey, I'm already monetized and I got friends, I got subscribers. So it's just a matter of getting the algorithms to catch me, right? I don't have to catch them, they have to catch me. I'm moving, man. I'm quick, like a bunny. Um, and it'll happen. I'm just going to keep putting out my work because I'm doing work that I love, work that I enjoy. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Lady Sky. Hey, Liza. How are you guys? Hey, Ray. Um, let's read a quote. Semper says it was an amazing live stream. You know what? I knew. I tried to reach out with people. Try to reach out to people with a lot of you guys in mind. This one specifically, Semper, was for you. It was for Sissy. It was for my friends who get those intuitive nudges and try to live their life um, by following those nudges. I'm glad you like it, Sniper. I most definitely wanted to get to your questions. If you had missed, she did answer both questions. If you missed it, let me know, and I will try to make a short of both of them, and I'll post them and I'll send them to you. So my goal is to get the videos, the long form content, up into the thousands of views. It might take some time. It can be done. Simple says I'll watch back before bed. I will be making, like I said, the shorter stuff. Hey, Mike and Venus, how are you? Yogi game. Yogi. What's the yogi game? Do I have to play a yogi game? I take my yogi business serious. Hey, Danny. Danny, I did have a great day. How about you? How's your day? How's the weather for you? Oh, we got 7 people here. You guys ready? An unboxing, an unbagging. Actually, it's really an unenveloping. An unenveloping of. This is a gift. If you remember the gift last week, the guest last week from Jeff Bailey, we talked about Course Miracles and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. I'm going to bring up Patanjali again in just a minute. I'm going to quote him. Hey guys, you want to see me run around with these? I'm 60. I'm going to be 61 years old in 2 months. I'm old enough. If I want to run with scissors now, No one's going to tell me not to run with scissors, which is sort of a shame because someone really should tell me don't run with scissors. Anyway, before we ended the live stream, brown envelope, white envelope. Before we ended the live stream, Jeff said, "Hey, send me your address. I want to send you a copy of my book for your birthday. We have mobility for life. Healthy joints, strong bones, and a peaceful mind. Who doesn't want that, huh?" Here's Jeff is the founder of Avita Yoga. This is where they don't use traditional postures. They use the traditional postures, but in a different way, different type of breathing as well. I got a bookmark. And to Eric, thank you for having me on your show. May this book save you some time on your yoga journey. With peace, Jeff Bailey. Signed copy. I'm excited. I'm just going to read the whole book. If you guys don't mind sitting here as I read. "260 pages. It won't take long. I'm just going to read some of the table of content. He explains what Avita Yoga is. Again, he founded this. Purpose is everything. That actually sounds like it could be a squirrel sniper. That actually sounds like it could be a squirrel sniper quote. Purpose is everything. Movement is not enough. It's not a balancing act. Protection, pain, and comfort. You cannot protect your way to better health. Healing sensations. Bones love pressure. The sensation of tightness. The sensation of no sensation. The sensation of weakness. There is a lot of good stuff, guys. All right, we're going to be diving in. All right, movement for a reason. I will let you know and maybe even demonstrate what he says about spine health, Sniper. Hey, Coastal Bloom, how are you? Do I sense a little sarcasm there, Lady Sky? Oh, nice, another book. Little bit of sarcasm, maybe. Danny says, "Good, thanks for asking. It's 35 here, but it feels like 24 and cloudy." It felt pretty good here. It's going to be colder tomorrow. But it got up in the high 40s. Going to get cold again tomorrow. Not super cold. I think a high of 33, 34. But man, it's not in the teens or the single digits. Hey, Tiny K. And then it's going to start getting warm. We're going to have some days in the 50s. I did sleep in that question, Sniper, but I did not get a definitive answer. Took it to bed with me. This is what, 2 days ago? This guy says, I won't tell you that, Yogi. Hey, speaking of days ago, speaking of Squirrel Sniper, do you want to open up the doors for tomorrow? Keep at it. Sort of like a cone. That's another thing that Jeff was talking about. Some people say koan, some people say cone. It is a Zen, doesn't really have an answer. It is the answer is the mystery that it reveals. It's also the basis of self-inquiry. You don't practice self-inquiry to get an answer. You want to get to the silence That is the answer of every answer, the answer of every question. Every answer to any question lies in a spaceless, uh, or a spacious, we should say, timeless, infinite, loving awareness. So every single self inquiry, we can ask, "Who am I?" very gently of ourselves. Any answer that you come to, dismiss, let it go. You could ask, "What am I?" Here's an important question to ask. Gary Weber. I wonder if I can get Gary to come up. Gary was a highly influential teacher for me maybe 10 years ago. We corresponded fairly frequently. He led me in some self inquiry back then. He has mentioned, if you guys remember, Chris Nybauer, um, the neuroscientist, neuropsychologist, who came up and he talked about no self, no problem. Gary Weber is mentioned in his book. His internal dialogue dropped away. He had no foundation of an I, just the I am. No personal ego, no dialogue. And he's asked, well, how do you function with that? It's like, just fine. But he was worried about it when it first happened. Tomorrow night, Esoteric Lounge, Electroculture. Okay, when you get a chance, send me the title, the official title that you want. The great thing with having that thumbnail now, Sniper, is I can fit. I don't have to put the Esoteric Lounge with Squirrel Sniper because the thumbnail says it all. I feel good about doing some breathwork, Kat. How do you feel? Give me some direction. Cultivating the field. Got you. If you don't mind, send it to me so I have it, and I'll start setting it up. Having a little anxiety in my chest. It's getting really tight. Got you. So what we want to do is light breathing. We don't want to do any heavy breathing. We want to slow the breath down. Give me just 1 second, Kat, and we're going to start. All right. You ready, Kat? You get the thumbs up. All right. So, Kat, you can lie on your back. You can sit up. Don't be rigid. Guys, we're going to do some breath work real quick. Not real quick. We want to take our time. Here's where we're going to start, Kat. Put your one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Hi, Anna. We want to practice for just a little bit breathing from the diagram. So no special count. But with your hand on your belly, feel the hand being gently pushed down. You have a hand on your chest. And you want to feel the chest not move at all or only very slightly. So we're breathing from the diaphragm. Purposely but easily, the belly falls back. Breathing in, the very belly very gently moves forward, extending, expanding. Breathing out, the belly falls back. Just want to spend a moment here, Easy breaths. Bring your awareness down just by the belly button. Put your hand down there. Feel the belly, push your hand on even farther. No effort on your end. Spend a couple more breaths here. Now we're going to do pursed lips breathing. I'm going to breathe in through my nose. I'm going to purse my lips, put the tongue on the roof of my mouth behind the front teeth, and exhale just for a count of 4. I'm not pushing the breath. I'm not extending the breath. I'm exhaling with a whoosh for 4. I'm going to breathe in through my nose for a count of 2. And breathe out. With this, I'm going to guide you through it. Count of 3, we're going to do a first breath. Breathing in through the nose for 1, 2. Exhale through the mouth with a whoosh for 2, 3, 4. In through the nose for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. Let the breath go. Sit and be watchful. Feeling what you feel, wherever you feel it in the body. Any tenseness remains, any anxiety found in the body, any anxiety found in the body, found in the mind. As you exhale without any special length, just send a little bit of light. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I'll see you in the chat. Hey, Shayad, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you. It's been a bit. Someone says, miss you guys. We miss you too, Selma. Lady Sky just had an ice cream sundae for an afternoon snack. Anna, it was delicious. What kind of ice cream did you have? You're welcome, Kat. Here is another breath. If you want to do later tonight, this is the Butkeo light air. I know I pronounced that wrong. It's called the light air breathing. This was actually designed to reduce chronic overbreathing. Chronic overbreathing is a result as well as a contributing factor to anxiety, as well as any. Yep, my cat's here meowing at me. What you want to do is take a small, gentle breath through the nose. No count. Don't worry about it. Small, as if you're sipping in air. Gentle breath out. Small. Don't count it. Just let it fall. Don't even control it. After you breathe out, pinch your nose, hold it for a count of 5, then breathe normally for 10 seconds, thereabouts. You can have a clock in front of you if you want. Then repeat it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe normally for 10 seconds. You can repeat that instead of clock. You can do it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Turn it into a bit of meditation. Definitely pinch your nose lightly, lightly. Well, tell me, if you fight Harrison, you're just playing his game. Neapolitan, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. That sounds good. I love strawberry ice cream. I love vanilla everything. So strawberry and vanilla don't need the chocolate. Me personally. You don't want to fight Harrison. Sorry, guys. I am sleepy. So if he's glad that you broke up, then you should be glad that you broke up too. I love how our guests today tied things, how everything is happening the way it's supposed to be happening. Everything can be reinterpreted as a gift, as energy that is taking us in a new direction. Tiny says it's not worth it. Sissy, you got that right, Tiny. Now you'll fix your relationship with Jackson. Oh, I was going to read something. Danny says, that's true, Yogi. I agree with you 100%. What you'd told Selma. Well, I know I said something right if our friend Danny is agreeing with me. Danny is a very, very wise person. Simple says, Selma, can you see what he's doing? Not on your level anymore. And he sees that he is trying and he can bring you down. Excellent point. I read this quote fairly often. Feel very much inspired, as like we were talking about earlier. My with my channel, doing different things than when I started, but still a lot of the same things. We still get to have fun. I still come up just to talk. We don't have those designated singing nights anymore. Not saying that we won't, but we still do some singing. But as I'm heading this new direction, like I said, the algorithms have given me a bit of a hit. I'm just not being. My views went from like 100 to 120, sometimes more, thousand in that 28-day period to about 40,000. So way, way, way more than cut in half. Algorithms just aren't sharing me out. I went from getting, like with my nature shorts, 1,000, sometimes two, sometimes 3 or 4, I think 6,000 on occasion. To I get like 6, 7. It's okay though. It is okay because I'm inspired. I know what I want to do. I know the direction that I'm heading. And here's what Patanjali is the author of the Yoga Sutras about 1,200 years ago, maybe more. He collected a series of aphorisms, sutras. Sutra actually really means stitches. They use it in medical terms now. Sanskrit word means stitches, short, pithy quotes to be memorized because it used to be handed down orally, teacher to student. Student becomes a teacher and hands them down again, and so on and so on. Patanjali said, hey, you know what? I'm going to write this stuff down. Here we go. This sums up how I'm feeling now and what I'm hopeful for. I think Sniper is going to relate to this because I think Sniper is in the same zone. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds, your mind transcends limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a great new and wonderful world. Here's my prayer. If I could offer a prayer to everyone here, may you find yourself in that place. Boy, little Tiny K gets tough. Kick him out, sissy. I agree, Tiny K. Thanks for hitting the like, Tiny. Hey, Environment. Zipper says, love that, Eric. I thought you would. It's a good place to be. But as I mentioned to Lisa this afternoon, sometimes when you're about to take that leap or you have taken it, but you're still unsure, when you've taken some hits, people who I thought would be here for the duration of the journey, it happens. And it's okay. I get a little down about it, missing some friends. But actually, that's the kind of stuff that made me pivot. Pivot's been a big word for me for a while. Hey, Toy Pups. Tiny. I like that tough talk, Tiny. Tell that boy bye. Hey, Lee. Oh, Marie. Change your name again. I can never keep up with you, Marie. I never could before. You are famous for changing your name. Zipper says, yeah, that's the matter material thoughts, Eric. Matter material thoughts. So we persevere. Have you guys ever read the book The Alchemist? You guys remember Wayne Dyer? He moved to Hawaii in his later years. He talked to a shaman. Shamans were called the kahunas in the Polynesian Hawaiian tradition. And he asked this kahuna. Wayne Dyer was always a joker. I met Wayne Dyer a couple of times. Told me the same joke each time. Came over, put his arm around me, pulled me close, and Wayne Dyer was completely bald and said, if you and I put our heads together, we could make a perfect ass out of ourselves. And I looked at him very sincerely and I said, you know what? He was in New York City and we drove to New York City. Um, I said, you know, I drove hours south of Baltimore all the way to New York City, driving through New York City traffic, unfamiliar with the streets. It's a harrowing adventure for me to get words of advice, words of wisdom, insightful information from you. And that's what I get. And he smiled and said, get what you pay for, dude. He was a good guy. Anyway, so he joked with a kahuna and said, so how do you get to be a kahuna? Do you go to Kahuna College, Kahuna U, study Kahuna 101? The kahuna himself, you know, the wise men, the sages, the rishis, and the seers, they have a light sense of humor themselves. But this time the kahuna got a little serious and said, kahunas are raised from birth with a knowing of who they are. So there's no seeking, there is no search. They know from birth who they are. Except it says the big kahuna, the biggest. Hey, thanks. I was going to look up The Alchemist to read some quotes. Oh, we're talking about a different alchemist. I was going to read the book. Or read from the book. Goodreads is a great place to get quotes. I highly recommend everyone read The Alchemist. We ought to have a book club. Thank you, Environment. I hope you're having a great day too. Read some quotes from The Alchemist. Man, I love Paula Kohula, Paula Kohla. I can't pronounce anything right, man. Here's probably the most famous that he wrote. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Imagine if you had no concept of failure. Anthony Robbins, I'd sometimes quote Anthony Robbins. I'm not an Anthony Robbins follower. I'm not a fan. He's okay. He said some great things though. There's no such thing as failure. You only get a result. It's what you do with the result that matters. Remember that wherever your heart is where you will find your treasure. Give you one more. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a seconds encounter with God and with eternity. Every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and eternity. Hey, Dan. Much love to you too, my friend. Imagine that. So, are you, even if it's a side project, are you doing something that you've dreamed about doing? Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of dreams. Because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and eternity. I might read some Richard Bach quotes. Please free your hostages. Nope, not going to do it, man. They got themselves into this mess. They can get themselves out of this mess. Goeth? Did I pronounce that right? Goeth? Your hand, Wolfgang von Goethe. Help me out here, guys. It's one of my favorite quotes. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, power, and grace. Here's the thing, all of us have dreams, some kind or another. Hey, Krishna, Tom, how you feeling? How was practice? Or training, I should say. We put it off. You know what? I'll pursue my dreams when I retire. I'll do this when I retire. Or one weekend I'll get around to this when my kids are grown, when the kids are out of the house, when my wife leaves me, when I get married, when my husband leaves me, when I get married. Joe Vitale, who I really want to get up to on the channel. I sent him messages and an email, but I have yet to hear back. Said the universe loves speed. You get that nudge, don't sit on the nudge. Man, I had this really big inspiration. I thought of inventing this, and guess what? 3 years later, someone invented it and is a millionaire. So why couldn't it have been you? The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has power, has magic power and grace. Let's see. I'm hurting, but all part of the game. Otherwise, going great. So, what kind of hurting are you doing? Hey, Sad. Sample says, when you truly desire something, the entire universe conspires to make it happen. The secret of alchemy to turn the chaos of the heart into the gold of understanding. Beautiful. Hey, Michael. He realized that the soul of the world was his own soul, and that the only way to find personal legend was to follow the signs. So you read it? Love, love, love the book. It's been a while since I've read it, but I've probably read it a dozen times at least. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. You never owned a woman. Well, I recommend renting for a while, see how it works. Simple says, Environment, you'll love tomorrow's Esoteric Lounge. Environment City is looking forward to it. Simple says, I've come across the work from other works alike. Tom says, I have bone bruise out on rib, right out of my pec muscles and from shoulder tackles. Took an elbow from the rib cage by mistake. Hey, what about like from the ropes? Are you bruised up on your side from the ropes? Tom says I don't use pain meds, so lots of turmeric. I got to order turmeric and black pepper. Rosie says, "How you can take your pill if you haven't?" Right on time. Thank you, Rosie. To achieve the magnum opus, one must learn to speak the language of the world, not just the language of words. Lady Sky says, "Hey to back to Tom. Hey, Toy Pops." Tom says, "Lucky no soreness from the ropes. They don't have quite as tight as most rings are." Doing that work on the ropes is no easy thing. Let's go, Richard Bach. Hey, has anyone seen Kundalini King for a while? I've not seen Charlie for a while either. I know Charlie, someone said he was on some other channels. I miss both our friends, Kundalini King, Aaron, and Charlie. The reason I thought of Kundalini King is he's a big fan of Richard Bach. Richard Bach wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He took some what was called ESP classes from Jane Roberts. Jane Roberts was one of the first channelers to come into prominence. One of the first. If you remember, 40 years before Jane Roberts, Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. But he was called the sleeping prophet for a reason. He was asleep and a prophet. Probably didn't see that coming, did you? Didn't see that connection. That's why I'm here. That's why I have this live stream. Put those things together that other people can't put together. Why did he get the name Sleeping Prophet? Now you know. However, Jane Roberts was a channeler who was awake. Big changes, physiological changes, emotional changes, psychological changes. There are some channelers, Ramtha out in the West Coast, her eyes actually change colors. Anyway, Richard Bach took the ESP classes from Jane Roberts after she was channeling Seth. And as he was walking on the boardwalk at the beach one day, looking at seagulls, he heard a voice that said, "Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Write it." And he did. It became a huge bestseller through the 70s, one of the best-selling books of the 1970s, along with his book Illusions, which is a wonderful book. Wonderful. Read that, reread that every couple of years. Let me dive back in the chat, and then we're going to read some Richard Bach. Tom says, "I was getting knots in my back the first time I trained. It was so hard to hit the ropes when you're that sore." I bet. Tiny K is still painting her nails. Pepper says, "You see, Eric, the profound secret of alchemy is that the transformation of metals is a metaphor for the transformation of the self. Secret lies in the realization of the unity of all things." We've talked about this through the years, Sniper, that the alchemists, the laboratory, the universe are all made of the same essence as above, so below, the micro versus the macro. Lady Sky says, "Oh, cool, what color are you doing for your nails?" Painting them red. So Richard Bach. Can miles truly separate you from friends? If you want to be with someone you love, aren't you already there? The bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. Rarely do members of one family grow up under the same roof. This is from Jonathan Livingston. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what your eyes are telling you. All they know is limitation. Look with your understanding. Find what you already know, and you will see the way to fly. This is from Illusions. You're never given a dream without also being given the power to make it true. It says it's quantum entanglement. Don't be dismayed by goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again. And meeting again, after moments or lifetimes, is certain for those who are friends. All right, this was the quote I was looking for. Do you like this one, Sniper? What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Your only obligation in any lifetime is to be your true self. All right, last two. This is for a particular friend of ours. I think it would resonate with him, maybe. If your happiness depends on what somebody else does, I guess you do have a problem. And the last one, argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Zipper says, when two energies resonate, the same vibrations, no matter the distance. Agreed. I'm actually living that right now. Fireman says, alchemy turns liquid sugar into candy, a candy back into liquid sugar. Another day. Another day, another reset. So I'll set up tomorrow's live streams early in the morning. The guest that was supposed to be up Sunday, but we couldn't make it happen due to technical difficulties, I believe is going to be up Friday the 13th. We have on the 16th a second appearance, Cynthia Orlando, if you remember her, course teacher. Wonderful talk. I really enjoyed her company. She's back again. Saturday, Lloyd and Stephanie. They came up separately. Stephanie is the angel channeler. Course Miracles teacher, angel channeler. Her partner is Lloyd Lapp. He came up, I think, 2 weeks before. Wonderful talk with him. They are going to be on camera together. We're not doing like a Zoom. I don't know how to do Zooms. They're just going to be in the same room, sitting next to each other. We got a yogi course teacher, Vishali Chauhan. She's coming up on the 18th. And where's what I'm looking for? Oh, on the 16th. The episode of Lloyd was fantastic. Lloyd was fantastic for sure. On the 16th, our friend Patty O'Neill Maz. Patty was the psychotherapist. that was up. And she's the psychotherapist and family therapist, of course, teacher student as well. We're going to do a um, I can't remember what she called it, miracles and healing session. Where do you have school? Do you have questions for a therapist? She's not going to offer therapy, but she will dive into some questions. So we're not offering therapy. I repeat, we're not offering therapy. That doesn't mean that she's not going to offer help. Firemat says, well, like an old school visitor. I like it that I'm getting some return people who were just really happy to be here. Makes me happy. Makes me happy to think that I did a good job in providing space for someone to be at ease and natural and share some love, share some wisdom. It feels good to think that you do something good. It's like Sniper and his trees. The satisfaction of looking at a tree when you're done and knowing I did that. I made that better. Now you don't do it alone, of course. As we were saying up above, the whole universe conspires to have you do it. Hey man, is it summer yet? It is not summer yet, Evan. How's the weather up there? Way up north. Environment says they must have felt heard and seen. I hope so, Environment. That is the plan. I told backstage with a guest today that I never have any real plans, nothing written down, no outline of what we're going to talk about. And she looked a little apprehensive. Like, is that a good idea? Um, and I said, you know what? I just don't feel like I need notes to talk about something that I'm fascinated by. I figure if I want to know, right, probably someone else wants to know, so I can ask the same questions. Well, still a couple feet of snow. Things are finally starting to melt today, but it's going to be a little hazardous walking tomorrow because everything that started to melt is now it's flowing water across the sidewalk. It's going to get below freezing tonight, so there's going to be ice and ice on the road, black ice. -15 is cold. You ever think about moving down to the states, Evan? Like all the way down to the states, like Florida? Here's the shame about Canada. I love Canada. I've traveled a bit in Canada. I've been to wherever I've been. Toronto, drove up to Algonquin Park. I love Algonquin Park. We drove all the way up through Canada into New Brunswick and down New Brunswick to uh, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is beautiful. I've been to Quebec City, been to Montreal, I've been to Calgary, Sault Ste. Marie, and drove across from Sault Ste. Marie all the way over to Toronto. Anyway, just saying I love Canada. But here's the problem with Canada Canada doesn't have a south. Even when you live in South Canada, you're in the north. So there's like no, man, I'm going to head south for the winter because you're still in winter. You're still in the north. That's the only problem with Canada. Ever says, I think I would miss winter. Not me, man. We're gonna try not to take that personally, Michael. Michael says, why did the chicken cross the road? Because Yogi wagged the spoon at him. Not just a spoon. This is a hand-carved, decorative spoon signed by the artist. When I say hand-carved, you might be thinking that Michael found a stick, carved it into a spoon. It would be the easy way. That's the way some people would do it. It's not the way Michael would do it. Michael found a lightning-struck tree, an entire tree, in a forest. No one heard lightning strike that tree, and when the tree fell, no one heard a sound. The tree was burning, it was on fire, but it wasn't burning. It wasn't burning. Michael reached into the flame and removed the perfect branch. It was more like a log. And with a single folding Barlow pocket knife, as it was still smoldering, he carved a spoon. Legend has it, you could hit a home run out of the park with this. I believe it. I believe it. Michael said hi. Man, Evan, I would not miss winter at all. I had my share of winter. Guys, tomorrow night, Esoteric Lounge is opening up its doors. Come sit with Sniper. Michael says, laughing, no fire. It was struck by lightning a long time ago. Some say it was struck by lightning in the days of the dinosaurs, prehistoric times. That the fire actually started was from a asteroid in the asteroid that struck the Earth that actually put the end to the dinosaurs. It's just legend. We don't know if it's true. Only Michael knows if it's true. But me, in my heart, I'd like to believe. I guess we're going to wrap it up in maybe 10 minutes-ish. Somewhere around there. I got a few things to do. I'm going to do my best. I try this every night. I try to end the live stream at about an hour, and I say I'm going to go to bed. And then I find stuff to do before I go to bed. I got a few emails to send, a few people to reach out to. Like I said, sorry I missed the earlier stream. That's okay. Had a new hot water heater put in. Gotcha. Priorities. I do drink coffee, Evan. Only 1 cup. 1 cup early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning as I'm writing. A little before 4. I wouldn't mind 2 cups. Man, I wouldn't mind 3 cups, but just doesn't sit well with me anymore. Keeps me up. Too much coffee, it disturbs my sleep pattern. I quit coffee for a long time, except in racing. As man, cup of coffee, 1 o'clock in the morning in a 24-hour race or 100-mile race. Sometimes, especially when you're cold, is exactly what you need to get you through the night. And if you haven't been drinking coffee and you have a cup, that caffeine hits you like you've never had coffee before. But then, I did miss the taste. I like coffee. and I read some studies. It is actually very good. It's very good at preventing any form of dementia, supposedly. My mom drank coffee fairly regularly. She suffered dementia. However, doesn't hurt to hedge your bets, right? Also, tea, green tea and black tea, both very high in antioxidants. Michael says, I usually have 2 cups. So we have an old burpee friend, Paul from Oregon, who said 1 cup of coffee is all you need. You just need a bigger cup. He had an excellent point. Evan says, when you jog, did you ever think you're tired but just kept going? Yep. It's the only way to do a 100-mile race. You're going to be, it's the only way to do a 24-hour race. You're going to be tired. Heck, even at 50K, you're going to be tired. You just keep going. I had a friend, the legendary Tom Green, and he really, truly is legendary. One of the best ultra runners ever. Doesn't live too far from me. We used to go to some races together. I'd spend some time with him on the trails. He'd say that a 100-mile race is just a series of problem management. You got a problem, you manage it, you go on. You got another problem, you manage it. The only time you fail a race is if you fail to manage the problem. So that was very helpful for me. Pine needle tea too for immune system. I think you mentioned that once before, Sniper. Evan says he used to do 30 minutes and get tired, but I'd keep going. Are you running anymore, Evan? All right, guys. I made it an hour. As of now, tomorrow's the 13th. No, tomorrow's the 12th. As of now, no guest. Until the evening. And then we got Sniper. Esoteric Lounge. Welcoming everyone in with a brand new, as of last week, thumbnail. Good night, Sniper. Thanks for hanging out. Guys, all of you, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to see everyone tomorrow morning. 5. What time do I go live? 5 in the morning. Take care. Love you guys.